Today on Yes Your Kitchen, we are going to be talking about the history of the Pillsbury Crescent Roll. And we are making one spectacular, very surprising dish with it. You're going to love it. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Jill and this is Yes Your Kitchen. If you're new here, welcome. It would be an honor to have you join us as we explore retro history through food. Okay, so today, I've got such a good one for you. Oh, I'm so excited I'm using both hands. Today, we are going to talk about the history of the Pillsbury Crescent Roll. You know, these guys that come in the tube. I already took the outside paper off. And you never know if they're going to pop or they're not. I'm going to do this later, so I'm not quite sure if it's going to work or not because, you know, you've got kind of maybe a 60-40 chance. But anyway, the Crescent Roll, oh my God, this country has a love affair with the Crescent Roll. But before I get to it, I want to share with you that with these Crescent Rolls, we're going to make a very unusual dish from one of my favorite vintage collaboration cookbooks. Our favorite recipes. And I'll put a couple of the recipes. I think onion rice came from here. Remember that one? Oh my God, so good. And there's one more that I can't remember right now, but if I do remember it, I will put the link in here. This cookbook is just fabulous. And I can't wait to show this one because this is a very unusual lasagna, very pretty, made with crescent rolls. I need to give credit where credit is due. And in this book, the recipe contributor is Mrs. Homer Hale. First of all, I love that there were Homers around back then. And a lot of women just used their husband's name, Mrs. their husband's name. It's just how things were. So we don't know her first name, but it's a fabulous recipe, Mrs. Homer Hale. I don't even know if you're still around, but I want to thank you so very much for submitting this amazing, amazing recipe. Okay, so we're gonna get started and then we'll talk about where the crescent rolls came from because I know. Okay, we're gonna start with our filling. And our filling in our happy little mixing bowl, we have 1 cup cottage cheese. To that, we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of shredded mozzarella, in it goes, and 1 tablespoon of dried parsley. And yes, you do wanna use dried because the moisture in the cottage cheese is gonna hydrate it. So it'll be just fine. And just mix this up, and while we're mixing it up, we're gonna say, okay, where did the crescent roll come from? Okay, are you ready? Here we go. So, the crescent roll was absolutely introduced by the Pillsbury Company. The technology for these puppet cans, which is what they call them, puppet cans, actually came out in 1931. But we had to wait until 1965 for Pillsbury to introduce the crescent roll. And by interesting fact, the Pillsbury Dough Boy, we all know him. What a cutie, right? You pop, hee. Okay. He was introduced in 1965 too. And one more interesting fact, this girl was introduced in 1965 too. My favorite year. Okay, so now you know how old I am, which is fine. I have no shame. Let me just give this a little more stir. So anyway, 1965 was a big year for many reasons. Now we all love the Pillsbury Dough Boy, and he's gone through a few little iterations over the years. But the original Pillsbury Dough Boy, you know that little hee and his voice, that was voiced by an actor named Paul Frees. Now here we go. I'm gonna totally show my age. Who's around my age? Who watched TV around my age? Who are my TV kids? Who watched Rocky and Bullwinkle? I know, right? So anyway, Paul Frees was the voice of Boris Badenov on Rocky and Bullwinkle. Oh my God, I loved Boris and Natasha. They were always getting into trouble. And then of course I started thinking, oh my God, Beanie and Cecil and what was it? Peabody and his boy Sherman. Oh, it's so much great TV back then. But I digress because we're talking about the crescent roll. Okay, so anyway, today Pillsbury sells a can of crescent rolls, and I guess I'm part of this yesterday, every 18 seconds in the United States. Can you believe it? That's a lot of crescent rolls. Okay, now let's get back to our recipe and Mrs. Hale. Okay, so now this is gonna be our filling for part of it, but we're just gonna let this sit right now. I made this first so the parsley can start hydrating. Now we're gonna cut. I'm gonna bring in my pan and we are gonna make the sauce, and I will be right back. Okay, presto changeo. I have in my nice big skillet. Yes, my happy skillet. Everything I cook with is happy, you know that. I'm gonna put in a pound of ground beef. I decided to go with a 94.6. Anyway, very, very low fat. Because you want to drain this afterwards, and when you just go lower fat, it's just really honestly, it's less work, right? Yester Kitchen, we love lazy, nothing's changed here. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and brown all this ground beef. I know you don't want to watch this, that'll get boring, but I will be right back when this is browned and drained. Okay, we are browned, we are drained, and because I use such a low fat ground beef, I barely had any fat to drain off, which I love. Okay, got our ground beef. Now we're gonna make our sauce. I have an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. I wanna get it all in there. This is really such an easy and fabulous recipe. Just wait till you see what we do with the crescent rolls. You're gonna love this. Yes, this is lasagna of sorts. Okay, now we have a 1/4 cup of finely chopped onion. And there it goes. We're gonna add a 1/2 cup of water. And our seasonings are, ready? Here we go. 1/2 teaspoon oregano, 1/2 teaspoon salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon garlic powder. I don't know why everyone goes so low on the garlic. I know a bunch of people have said, why is the past so low on the garlic? I don't know, maybe they were worried about their breath, who knows. But anyway, I may have or may have not added 1/2 teaspoon of garlic. But the recipe does say a 1/4 teaspoon. And I love to honor that. Okay, so now all we're gonna do is we're gonna just mix this around and let it simmer for 5 minutes. After that, I'll be over at the counter for our next step. See you in a minute. So let me show you. Our sauce is done. Look at that. And I put it in a casserole dish. It can be in any shape you want. You'll have an idea of what you'll need as soon as I do the crescent roll part. But anyway, I took this beautiful sauce. It's all simmered down. The onions are nice and tender and spread it on the very bottom. Okay, so we're gonna put that aside from now. By the way, my oven is set to 350. Are you ready? Technology invented in 1931. So we're just supposed to bang it and see it. If not, you know, we always have plan B, but let's see what happens. Woo, it worked. Da-da-da-da. Okay, and here we go. Crescent rolls. So we're gonna unroll said crescent roll. Of course, being very, very gentle. There we go. And as we all know, it makes 8 crescent rolls with the little perforations. You want to keep these perforations, you want to seal those perforations so you have 4 rectangles. So I'm just going to use a knife because I really, really want it to go well. Well, here, I'll do one really quick with you. Although I'm sure we've all done these before. And we just pinch the dough together to seal up the perforations. Here we go. Make sure they're nice and sealed so they don't open during baking. Okay, we're gonna do the rest to these 3. I'll be right back. And here we are. And before I forget, I just wanna say it has been so much fun filming from right here in Palm Springs. That's where I still am. This is my last episode from Palm Springs. I'm sure gonna miss it. I have had a blast living here. If you ever have a chance to spend a month or 2 in Palm Springs, I highly recommend it. Just so much to do, so much fun, beautiful people, amazing food scene. Okay, but where am I going next? I'm going back to Idaho. So you'll be seeing my retro kitchen very soon. I'm so excited. Only had to pack very, very limited when I came here. So you're not seeing my Fiesta ware because it's all in Idaho. So you'll start seeing it again. Okay, crescent rolls, back to crescent rolls. We have our rectangles. All the seals are pinched together. Remember our mix? Okay. So we're gonna take this mix and kind of divide it into quarters. You're gonna take a 1/4 of the mix and you're gonna evenly mix it around. See, is this crazy or what? Okay. I'm telling you, it's so good. It's so good. I actually have my neighbors waiting because they're gonna be getting it when they're done. Okay, starting on the short end. Roll up your crescent roll. Okay. I'm gonna do the other 3. I'll be right back. I know I'm keeping you in suspense. I love it. Be right back. Okay, here we go. Now you just want to keep an eye on your little perforations because they do tend to kind of separate when you're doing this, like mine are doing a little bit, but see, just give them a check. It's fine. They're only crescent rolls. We're only cooking. It'll be fine. Here's a little bit where it just started leaking out a little bit. Don't worry. Don't worry. They're going to be sitting on the meat sauce. We're fine. Okay. We are going to take each cute little roll and cut it into 3 pieces. Here, just like that. And here's our meat sauce. And you guessed it. We're going to put these cute little pinwheels straight up like that. And I am going to make 4 rows of pinwheels. So give me a second and we'll go do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. Okay, so we have our little garden of pinwheels on our meat sauce. How fabulous is this? 2 to 3 tablespoons grated Parmesan cheese goes over the whole thing because of course it does. You can't have lasagna without Parmesan cheese. I can't tell you how awesome this dish is, how creative and how fun. And guys that are looking for kid-friendly dishes, right there. Okay, this gorgeous thing is gonna go, remember the meat sauce is already done, so you're really just cooking your crescent rolls, baking your crescent rolls, and getting the cheesy filling inside. So this goes into your 350 oven for 30 to 40 minutes. You know what a baked crescent roll looks like, right? They're beautiful, golden brown, just calling you to eat them. So when that happens, we will be back. From 1977, our favorite recipes collaborative cookbook from Mrs. Homer Hale. I bring you Crescent pinwheel lasagna. Oh my God, does this look good? And it is good. It is so good. You have, see, we're all nice and golden brown and cooked. Guys, this is a great way to end Palm Springs. I absolutely love this. Let's go ahead and just cut ourselves a slice. I did bring my cocktail plates, so at least I have that. You'll see, like I said, I promise, Fiestaware is coming back. Okay, well, we're just gonna go a little bit. Okay, look at that. Is that gorgeous? You have this beautiful pinwheel and the meat sauce, and you're gonna have some happy company. So when you cut into this, you have, look at that, you get your cheesy filling. And I'm gonna take a bite and I'm gonna try to, I always take small bites so I can actually talk when I'm done. Oh my God. Can you tell? I was so happy I bumped the camera. Guys, this is incredible. I hope you try it. It is absolutely amazing. And when you try it, you gotta tell me about it. Thank you so much for joining me this whole Palm Springs series. It's been fun, it's been fabulous, and I'm gonna see you back in Idaho. If you would like to explore more dishes from your childhood or just the past, I invite you to subscribe. I release new videos every week. In the meantime, there's some more retro dishes for you. And remember, every dish, even crescent pinwheel lasagna and the crescent roll history, has a story. I will see you in Idaho and in the next video.